join me. Let's do some art.
I finally had time to finish up a project I can show you, and it's all about this old bird cage. Now, a long time ago, I added a bracelet to this and some wiring, but today I have a fresh approach in mind, but I will leave those things for now. So I start by preparing a little base. I have an old candlestick and I glued some cardboard together, and for that to become more sturdy I will add some bits and pieces of book pages with my Mod Podge, and when that dries it will give me a nice hard and easy to paint surface. Next, I want to add a little door to the opening here, and for that I use a round piece of jewelry and some wiring. And it was just easier and more sturdy to make the hinge on the top than on the side. Now, aside from jewelry bits, I will also use other odds and ends to decorate this cage, like this bent piece of metal that gives me a little ledge, and it fit really well pressed behind two of the bars. Now, in order for the gluing process to be a bit easier on this round shape and on those small bars, I used a combination of my hot glue that gives an initial hold and my E6000 that gives a very strong and lasting bond. Now I have this little drawer full of metal branches and leaves, and I think they give me that look I'm after for this cage. But I will also add some gears, I have some small kids' toys, and so on. Like always, my process will be very easy to follow, so I will turn on some music for you. I will add anything you need to know in the caption. And even though it's not always easy to film these three-dimensional projects, I will stop often so you can get a good close-up. So please enjoy the process, and I will be back with you in just a wee bit. So far so good. Now it's time for some spray painting, and this is the way it looks after 2 coats. Now for the little stand I added a keyring and 2 lines of chains, but after I painted everything I realized that the stand was actually very wiggly and kind of crooked. I happen to have another candlestick, so I just took the top off and added it to the new stand, and that's going to be a lot more sturdy. So I was going to start painting everything, but then realized that with the new stand I had an opportunity to decorate it as well, and so I did, and this is the way it looks now. So after I completed the base coats on this, I decided to make another change to the stand, because originally I had this little tea light in mind to go into this keyring, but I quickly realized that the light was just not bright enough for this rather large cage. So I looked around and I found this little light chain, and it has a really lovely color. It has these tiny leaves, but they have this amber yellow glow, which I really like. But of course I had to put it into something. So I decided on this long container here to fill it up with the lights. Now it's made out of plastic, so I will be able to cut it, which I need to do because it's a bit too tall, but then I think it will serve me just fine. So I take the ring off because I won't need it anymore, and I repair the damage. So that's it. My birdcage is done. Let's look at all the details one more time. Here is the lamp part I put together. It works perfectly and has that nice warm glow. The batteries can be changed from underneath. It rests nicely between those game pieces. The chain, of course, helps the top to position well. And there's a tiny jump ring in the front, and I will explain. One more look at the decorated foot down here with green add-ons, and then on to the bigger part. Now, in order to prop up the hinge door, I added this little stick. The tip can rest in that tiny jump ring, and then of course the top underneath the door, and you will see later how that looks. And then of course there is that cute little frog resting on its ledge. So the stick, as you could see, rests in an empty bullet when not in use. There's a chain at the other end. There's one of my little jewels I put together. Then there is a cabochon inside the spoon. On the other side, there's more chain with 2 more dangles. And then, of course, that lovely gecko right here on the top. So this thing has great texture and detailing all over. I added 3 main colors over the base coat, the green for the leaves and the gold for the butterflies and those metal swirls, and some red for some of the flowers, and so on. And I think it all blends pretty well. I added quite a few photos so you can see the details one more time. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you had a good time today. Stay well, stay creative. I see you really soon again, and bye-bye for now.